Hey, black women. All right, so I've been looking at all of this kind of craziness that has been going on in society with black people lately, both in the real world and in this fictitious, I don't even know what, twilight zone of YouTube. And I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that are really happening in society and that is stemming from the stupidity on YouTube. And also I want to talk to you and tell you a story about how I was called an ugly bitch tonight by that dude on the Billionaire Mindset podcast, that Ask Nathaniel dude. Now, okay, I'll talk about him quickly and then I'll put the shots in from the chat to show you that he actually did it. But what he did was he edited his video where he cut out the part where when I wrote in the chat, because you know how these videos get recommended across your page or whatever. So it kept coming for like a few days. So I said, well, let me watch one of these silly videos. So I did. And then the whole time in the video, he's just doing the same manosphere talking points disguised as I'm for women pandering nonsense. And these black women are stupid enough to fall for it. And I understand why. Get me. It is the allure because he's supposed to be a New York dude with swag. Now, if you are a black woman who actually lives in New York City, you know right off the bat, he doesn't have any swag. He doesn't have anything going for him, which is why he's on YouTube. Second thing is, he's a colorist and he's one of these dudes that might as well just be a passport bro, because his mentality towards black women is the same as theirs. When you look through his videos, it's all about him with all of these, what you guys like to say, preferences or exoticals, but they're nothing but very homely Hispanic women. Like, that's all. And I guess an occasional white woman to make it seem like it's not the reality of the fact that all he could get is homely and low-level Hispanic women, which is all that happens down here in New York City with these black guys. Believe me when I tell you, these black dudes have no money, no education, no aspiration in life, and because black women will not deal with them, you know, I guess they gotta find a woman somewhere, so they go find one, and that's what they get: low tier Hispanic women that pretend and take on many attributes and accolades of black women. It's ridiculous. So when I was listening to him talk tonight, you know, I'm cooking, I'm listening to this stuff. I said, let me give it a try, because it kept coming across my recommendations. So I said, let me see this ridiculous stuff. So as he's talking, I'm like, oh my God, same old ridiculous dark psychology bullshit, where he was trying to explain to black women that, again, with the same rhetoric that I've heard in other spaces throughout YouTube about how, and it's not true, how black women are suffering from this massive depression. And I think this was from an article like a year or two ago. I actually seen it on Google News or something like that a while ago, supposedly about how we're suffering from depression to the point where we're considering or actually committing suicide. Now, those of us who are real black women, and when I say real black women, those of us who are not male identified, know better than to listen to a charlatan like this dude. Like, I don't care if he's on here trying to make money or not. What I care about is the fact that he is trying to convince black women that their age, their sexiness, their prettiness, and their bodies, which is all the patriarchal trash that has been indoctrinated into women since the beginning, right, is how they will allure and attract males, right? So I'm listening to all this and I'm like, this is all such trash. And all of this is nothing but the build up to the end, which is to allow black women to lower their standards again, or lower than they already are, to allow all these type of bums like him and others to be able to have easy access to black women they would not otherwise be able to even touch, right? Coming from New York City, right? No black woman that has money, intelligence, and has high self-esteem would ever even look in his direction. Okay? You could clearly see he's a Caribbean black male. That's number one. So right away, whether he was born here or from the island, he has all types of psychological problems about black women, their body build, their color, their hair texture, their features, because that's how ridiculous they are. And it is a real thing, because I was married to two of them. They have problems with black women. They have been indoctrinated with white Jesus and all types of white indoctrination, assimilation, to the point where their brains are gone. You know, everything with them is a kumbaya and we are the world situation. They never live in the reality of what is really going on, which is why delusional black women, sad to say, find his content interesting, because he's fulfilling, I guess, some sort of fantasy that they need to have filled about that romance and fairy tale that black women have been taught since Disney, that they think they're going to get with these black males. And it's not going to happen, because they're not men. They're not functional. They don't have any emotional intelligence. They are subhuman. It's ridiculous, the thought process. So you know me, I'm listening. I mean, I don't really care about what he's talking about until it gets to the point where I understand the threat and the danger you're trying to push black women towards when you keep talking to them about the fact that because of the depression, it's due to lack of sex. Everything with this dude on his channel is sex, sex, sex. Like sex is the cure-all for everything. Oh, you know, somebody could almost kill you, beat you half to death, call you a bunch of bitches, hoes, tramps, tricks, etc. But sex is the answer. You could have a low-down, dirty dog as a husband, boyfriend, whatever, baby's father, but sex is the answer to everything. Yeah, his logic is just gutter snipe, scallywag, grunt logic. It's all about sex, because that's all he has to offer a woman, because he has nothing else, him and all the rest of the dusties. So anyway, as he's talking, I cannot believe, well, I guess I should be able to believe, all the black women in the chat that are actually agreeing with this dude because of the allure of New York City. So, and I understand it. Believe me, I understand it. I play video games online. I do a lot of things with people, and as soon as they hear my accent, they start going in like trying to bother me. They either are a fan or they're a hater, straight up and down. And so I understand why these women think that, oh, he's from New York and he's so smart and he's got all the swag and he should be able to tell me what I should do to get a man and how men look at women. And all of that is bullshit, straight up bullshit. Men are the same everywhere you go, especially black males, when they're broke, uneducated, and have no initiative or inspiration in life. They're a waste of your time. Now, believe me, I do understand. For those black women that get it and who will not be hanging around these dudes to put themselves in the risk of being taken out of this world by black femicide, we don't have to worry about them. But for the ones that do listen to him and who are out here desperate and fiending and making themselves a fool, trying to get somebody who does not want you, they come online and profess every day how much they hate you. You're going to get yourself taken out of this world by black femicide, thinking that he has something to tell you that will actually make you valuable to a black male in a relationship. You are bugging. And the whole thing about sex, sex, sex in every live he's ever done is because he's desperate. And so him and everybody else like him needs women to be more desperate than they are, so they could continue to use and abuse and just run through black women like we are all those horrible names they call us, without you women who are listening to this dude understanding that this is all gaslighting. Dark psychology gaslighting. 100%. And then understand that he took out that portion in his video. He edited, he clipped it out of him calling me a ugly bitch because How would that look for people to sit down, let that resonate and process that? Here's a guy who claims, right, as old as he is, using the slang of the kids my children's age, okay? Used today like shithole and bozo and etc. That's the kitty shit they talk down here, the slang. As old as he is, he got to be damn near 50, if not over 50, talking like that on YouTube, like that's something hip, cool, and what these misdirected black women are listening to, as if this is a real source of reference. So, but he edited that out because it wouldn't look good once people thought about, well, if you're supposed to be so for black women and you're supposed to be pandering to us the way that you are, and we're not supposed to understand that or see through it for what it is, and believe that you're actually on here talking about these supposed shitholes, black guys that are worth nothing, which you are part of and represent, doesn't look good for you to be calling a black woman that you care so much about a ugly bitch, when I am nowhere near ugly, never have been my entire goddamn life, okay? At all. And I don't need him to tell me that or anyone else. I know it. And I am the only one that counts. All right? So after that, all I did was took a screenshot of the chat because I assumed he was going to edit it. And actually, I had to walk my dogs, so I didn't really care about immediately after he said that, screen recording him, because he's really not that important, okay? But he's a piece of trash, because my whole thing was, like I always do everywhere I go throughout YouTube, I make my comments in the chat like everyone else, like I have a right to do. And if you want to say something about it, do it. But don't call me out of my name when I didn't insult and disrespect you first. I never do that. I just talk to the issue. I never attack the actual creator. I talk to the issue. And what I was talking to was the fact that don't listen to this, because this is the type of talk about relationships with black males that come off as if these black males are so non-threatening, not violent, emotionally intelligent, and just are out here wanting to love and be with you and treat you right and have these families they talk about and take care of these children and nurture them and love them forever. Like, these are not the men that are feeding children to alligators, stabbing women over 100 times, decapitating women, raping the women that they live with, when after she comes home from work and finds out that her 12-year-old daughter was also raped, killed, and stuffed in a refrigerator. Then you have the ones that stabbed the mom to death, bypassed the two sons of the woman that he just took the life from, go upstairs to the bathroom where the 6-year-old daughter is taking a bath to prepare for bed, and drowns the little girl, and then walks out of the house feeling like he's done a great job because he's killed the daughter and the mom. Black women, black male love. So then you also have more representation of their love for black women, which is in Florida. Remember the famous black teen that shot, for no apparent reason, his grandmother in the neck, and then told the Floridian sheriff, "Oh, I killed the black queen," assuming his grandmother died, so I won the game. What game are you referring to? Ignoramus, Mago man, Neanderthal, asshole? Which game are you referring to? And then let's not forget some of the most horrific ones, like the young lady Ashley in upstate New York, who had about 6 or 7 beautiful little black girls for this deadbeat, degenerate, recidivist bastard who actually beat this woman on a regular basis and ended up taking her life by black femicide, by stabbing her in her minivan and leaving the knife protruding out of her forehead. That's black love for you, though. That's that shit that you black women better run to go get, listening to people like Nathaniel. from the B mindset or billionaire mindset, whatever that fake shit is called, podcast. Like, this shit is ridiculous. And black women, the question is posed to you: how fucking desperate and ridiculous are you going to be? Do you not realize summer is right around the corner? And you retarded black women who keep desperately wanting to cling to these dysfunctional, dangerous, black woman hating males are going to have your bodies hitting the ground like it's raining outside come this summer. You would do better by either being abstinent, not dealing with them completely, or taking your time and actually rifling through, courting, and just getting to know other men of other races. And the first time a red flag pops up, get rid of him, never see him or talk to him again, move on to somebody else, or just take time off for a little while. But what you gotta stop doing is putting yourself in danger of black femicide, because that is realer than any denial you have for it. Now, if you weren't aware, there is a black femicide march called the Black Women's March that's going to be in October in California. I will be there. You should be there as well. Go to Eventbrite, get your tickets. Okay? Listen, let me tell you. It is ridiculous that the amount of black women are so desperate for relationships with people who want to take their lives. It's crazy that they listen to guys that perpetrate frauds like this dude all day, every day. Okay? And it is disgusting that he could sit there and talk trash about me like that without ever having heard or seen me before, whether or not I mentioned him in a video prior to him actually seeing my text tonight is beyond the point. It's the fact that you are purposely trying to deceive black women, which puts their lives in danger in dealing with relationships with these black males, right? And then you have been busted and exposed to those that want to accept you for who you truly are. You sat there, you called me ugly, you talked about, you called me a canine when I'm a human being. I'm not a canine. Your mother might be a canine, but I'm not a canine, okay? So you have problems. So any black woman in her right mind should do the math and understand that if he could be that quick to talk about me like that over a comment that was not directed to him, but to the content he was giving to black women due to the risk of black femicide that he is not concerned with in the least, that should make you think and understand that he is not a black woman's friend. He is just as dangerous, just as toxic as Kevin Samuels, any of these other losers, Anton Daniels, and the rest of them that need to be reported to the FBI, right? For hate speech towards black women and harassing, bullying content on the internet. Because when you call black women canines, right, that B word, you calling us derogatory planting tools like hoes and etc., right, and worse, you are bullying and you are committing hate speech, because nothing you are saying about me is positive, beneficial, or inspiring, or favorably descriptive. But what you are doing is you are dehumanizing, minimizing, belittling, harassing, and disrespecting me and other black women. So, he's a jerk. More than likely, his little quick thinking of damage control will work for the fools that watch his podcast, because he's really not talking about anything. All he does is speak separation of black women, by age, color, hair texture, featureism, body type. In his mind, he believes that sexy is actually a real tangible thing when it is not. It is a false man-made, I would say, pseudonym that men came up with to try to get sex from women that much easier, with the assistance of women thinking that that is what they should do to gain men. So it is just a ridiculous mind F, right? A mind fornicate. You know what I mean? Because it's just stupid. And the women that fall for it, they really need to like really start to do some real independent thought and hard thinking, analytic thinking about the things people say on YouTube, and don't just go along to get along because you feel like what he's saying is something that's clever, cute, and I guess hip. I have no idea because he's from New York City. He is a bozo. He is a clown. He is a dusty, a bum, a dude that gets no play down here. All right? Whatever he's got going on personally, that's his personal business, but believe me, he cannot walk down the street and have his choice of women because he's busted. Do you see his face? His face has jowls on it. His body is big and wrong. He looks like he was actually a very big person that's trying to lose weight. You know how they have all that misalignment with the body going on? It's too much going on with him. And then he's not very good looking, but yet he's always so goddamn judgmental about women, and specifically black women. Like, he made a comment tonight when I was watching it about how he could tell how a person's body looks by their face. That's a lie and just stupid. Because first off, this camera, depending on what type of quality of camera you have, what you're using to make your video, stop, Nai, go. No, stop. Is ridiculous because you have a different look. The cinematography is different. If it's a real camera, a quality camera, a bad camera, stop, Naya. The cell phone like I'm using right now, if you're making a video on your computer, it makes a difference if it's a Mac, a Microsoft, one of those accelerated computers that, you know, is made specifically for the gaming people, the gaming community, people who make movies, people who make music. I mean, the technology and the specifications for different computers are out of control. So I'm saying all that to explain that there's no way some of the claims that he makes are actually valid. They are just talking points to keep people entertained and keep them hooked into the nonsense. Like, I make it my business, me personally, never to show what I look like because that's none of your business. And I'm not here to show off myself. If I was, I can do that on Instagram or one of them other places where you go take your clothes off just to be on the camera. That's not what I'm interested in, you know? And so he makes comments like that. He also says things like women are not traditionally sexy anymore. He's not even smart enough to understand that femininity is an innate quality. It is given to you from birth. It never leaves. It never increases. It never goes away. Femininity has everything to do with you being a woman, a female, a being capable of giving life, period. So, you know, he plays those games, tries to make it seem like women have to work on all the areas of themselves to get these crappy, not worth a damn guys, and yet never talks about the things the males have to do to get their lives straight or to stop any of the crime in our communities, right? The fact that their lack of impulse control in several of our communities has caused main monopoly chains like Walmart, Aldi's, etc., Whole Foods, to pack up their shit and close their doors because those niggas are too violent, too fucking ignorant, and do not know how to control themselves. But these are the guys that these black women go over to listen to this dude to learn how to get. Oh my God, it is such a fucking mess. And when I say don't listen to this, because why do black women find it necessary to have desperation for a relationship reinforced by a person that cannot tell you how to do better in your life in any way? Because this is YouTube. None of this stuff on here where these people are pretending to be life coaches or relationship coaches know about anything they're talking about. This is all talking points that are popular on YouTube and that people want to believe in. Not one person can tell you what another person likes, what you should do to attract them. People are only authorities on themselves. They are never authorities on other people. Now, can you make conclusions based off of situations, scenarios, and consequences? Absolutely. Because those are factual situations that you can derive stuff from, deduct information or reasoning from, and come up with what would be the next probable situation. But he's ridiculous. So kudos, shout out to him for cleaning up his video, because he's thinking about the future and doing damage control and not letting his gaslighting of black women stop his cash flow or stop his goal, maybe for whatever reason, to make black women lower their standards even lower, so that these black dudes never got to get themselves together or never become human beings with an age appropriate thinking level and emotional intelligence to render compassion, empathy, sympathy, real love, and feelings, and consideration, reliability, responsibility, and dependability towards any woman they're in a relationship with. This shit is just too crazy to be real true, but it is true. So anyway, I'm ending this video now, but I want to put in the two screens of the chat so you can see that it actually happened. Because if you watch that video, because I went back to it because I was actually trying to screenshot or screen record him doing that, and he took it off. He was smart enough to take it off. I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that dude one way or the other. I don't care about the people that listen to him, but I do feel it is my personal obligation to put into everyone's chat the warning and the reality of black femicide when you are playing with these black males who kill black women every day and little black girls every 4 to 5 hours of a day. I mean, there was just recently a little black teenage girl that was beaten and sexually violated and then had her life taken from her just recently. And this is something that they do all the time. And now that summer is around the corner and so many black women have not been dealing with them and who rightfully, smartly don't want to deal with them, the amount of assaults and sexual violations will increase. So black women, do yourself a favor. Get your weapons, get your heart up, and understand that if it comes down to it, it better be him and not you. Okay? And stay away from them. Black women need to completely separate from black males, all of them. Work on our political status and standing in America. We have a lot to gain this election. We have a lot to work on. There's a lot riding on this next presidential election and every other election coming. Okay? We need to get a lot of the laws that were taken, changed, retracted, omitted, and everything else put back on the books, so that the everyday person has a livable wage, can fight eviction wherever you live, have decent health care, child care, and the ability to make a wage that you don't have to bust your back and your body for. It's a lot we got riding and a lot we have to fight for. You really should not be out here making time for listening to stupid arguments about why you should be in a dysfunctional relationship with a male who's more likely to end your life than actually do anything positive for you. So on that note, I'm gonna go. I think I've covered everything I came to talk about. And just listen, Black women, stay away from these supposed Black males that are trying to help you save your womb. Where they come up with this shit, this is too much for me. Help you save your womb, right, by putting more children in your womb. All these silly talking points about marriage being the way to fix everything when we know it doesn't. What else do they talk about? Saving your womb. Everybody should be married. You need to be sexy. You need to have less standards. Your standards are too high. Oh, your education is not important when it definitely is. If you want to actually have something in this world, you have to have smarts and you have to have education. Education that can push you through any obstacle and any door or any ceiling they try to limit you with. Also, in talking about that, I just wanted to bring up real quickly that I found another dude to teach us how to use auto chat or auto GPT chat by way of a browser. Okay, so I will be putting that video up on my community tab so you guys can take a shot at that. It with the browser, installing or creating the auto chat will be much easier than actually following and trying to manipulate the code by using Python and all the rest of that. With the browser, you will only require the AP key. So I'm gonna get that video and put it up so you can listen to the whole thing and join that guy's page and everything else he does, because he's really one of those IT dudes that gets heavy into the coding. So follow him. These are the type of things Black women should be on, so that when America drops new systems like AGI or AI and etc., you can just look at it and go, okay, I know what that is, and I know how to create a code to generate a code that will keep working and putting in applications for me, so I don't have to lift a finger to make sure that I stay employed. I keep up with the times of what's happening with both employers, employees, and the employment environment, and all the other AI tools or technical tools that go along with it. You know, dealing with your soft skills, your technical skills, and all the rest of them. So I think that that's what Black women's time should be, or would be better spent on, instead of worrying about your level of sexiness he's talking about, which is ridiculous. Always trying to pit older women against younger women, when it comes to Black women, we get better with age. When we're young, there's not much going on. I mean, let's be real. Most people don't have substance until they've actually lived life and gained some real life experience that actually molds, contorts, and trains and teaches a person and grows them into who they're supposed to be. So being young, that's a passing fancy everybody has their time at. I mean, your body's softer, harder, bouncier. Who cares about that? As you get older though, you want to keep your body fit. You want to stay agile. You want to stay flexible. You want to stay, most importantly, strong. Because as you age, your body goes through muscle atrophy. You lose your flexibility if you don't use it, and your stamina goes down. Not to say that once that happens, or once it is done, that it cannot be gotten back, because yes, it can. All right. the especially women. Like, I don't know what men do because I really don't give a goddamn, but a lot of the current day bodybuilders like Wendy Ida and I forget the other Ernestine, somebody, I forget her name. They all started professionally bodybuilding and working out and getting in shape at like 55, 60 years old. Ernestine is like 80 something years old right now. Her body looks like that shit is bad. It looks better than any young girl's body I've seen. Unless the young girl is a track runner, a swimmer, or a gymnast. Okay? The muscles, the definition on this old lady's body, if you just looked at her body and not her head, you would never know how old she was. She looks that good. And the same thing with Wendy Ida. She puts on a bathing suit. She looks better than a lot of 20-something-year-old girls. She really does. Oh, that was the other thing he spoke about, which was a bunch of stupidity. But when you don't know a lot and you just take everything that someone says for granted or as for a matter of fact, you get misinformed. Like he talked about women not being able to have six packs unless it's naturally a part of your body. Now, what he's talking about is, you know, just how you fit the physicality of your body. But that's not true. Because me, myself, I've always been a person where, you ever see those type of people where when they work out, they get really big and really defined and really strong, just like this. And then as soon as they stop working out and they don't do that stuff anymore, they start to go back to, their body just morphs back to like being soft. I'm one of those type people, right? So I always work out, but there are periods in my life when I know I have to do something, I work harder. Or if I'm competing or I'm trying to compete in martial arts or whatever, I go even harder. Like the time I had messed up my shoulder, I was trying to get to the competition level where I would travel worldwide. Okay, I messed up. I messed myself up, so I missed my chance. Shit happens. That's life. You keep moving. All right. But now, this is why I'm telling this story, because he was trying to say that if you're a person that is not like one of these women or people that you see that naturally has like a muscular build body, you have those people, but that means absolutely nothing compared to another person who doesn't have that type of body, who actually works out and they can get that type of body. Okay. A couple of years ago, when I was a parole officer, right? In New York City, when you are a parole officer, you are a state employee. So you got to go upstate to Albany, to an area called Rensselaer, New York, right? You go up there, they train you for 2 months. Everything is fighting, shooting, running, and weight training and wrestling, right? It's like you're going, they send you up there to learn to hurt people, learn to shoot people, fight people, wrestle people, outrun people, destroy people. So when I first went up there, I've always been a person that could accomplish on my own a 4-pack, but I never was able to like push myself hard enough to get the second line to make the 6-pack, right? So now here, when he was talking about earlier that you can't get a 6-pack if it's not natural or part of your natural whatever it was, he was talking about physique. That's not true, because when I was up there for those 2 months, and all we did was run, work out, fight, wrestle, shoot. Do you know how fucking strong I was? Do you know how toned my body was? Like, you gotta understand, every day was about running up and down stairs. Like, you could do that, and women, you could do that yourself in your own apartment or your area. Even if there's a park and there's a huge flight of stairs, time yourself, run up, run back down, do it in sets of 4s, because that's how they had us doing it. They had us run up top speed, like up, down, and then wait 15 seconds, let your heart come down a little bit. Once again, up, down, up, down. That shit would pull your whole body together. Then after that, of course, we would have to weight train, fight, run, all that stuff. I finally got the I had that six-pack by graduation. By graduation. I kept it 7 months after, and then I started slacking off and went back to the 4. I did. Because I was eating cheesecake, strawberry shortcake. I was just doing way too much, like with the sweets. I have a sweet tooth. I have to chill out. And I wasn't exercising because I only had one dog then, right? So now that I have Naya, I get more exercise because Naya is an Akita Malamute. I told y'all that, right? So this girl is like 7 months old, weighing almost 200 pounds. She is a huge dog. To walk her, I have to use muscle to control her, okay? Sometimes I push myself to challenge myself. So I have a pit bull too, right? So, and you guys know Buddha's a pit bull. So I have both of them on both hands, and I have to do that. I have to use a lot of what they call peak muscles, where you hold everything tight so that you can control them. And I do that almost every day to build extra strength on top of running, working out, going to the dojo, doing my thing, freestyling, freelance, whatever, you know, with working out and stuff like that. And I do that all the time. And I am probably way older than him. Probably, right? But when you do stuff like that with your body, I'm not going to say it makes you younger, but the condition of your body sometimes can be better than when it was younger. I'm telling you. Like, when I look at people my age, like I went to the doctor just today, right? And you know, of course you write your date of birth and all that stuff down. So the lady's like, oh wow, you know. And after that, I went running. I was talking to somebody on the phone about meeting up with them in Cunningham Park. I don't know if y'all know where that is in Queens. And I'm like, yeah, we'll run the, you know, the paths in the park. So we did that. We did like a long distance for a while. Then, you know, it was like an ego thing. We did a little sprint to outrun each other. But that was fun. You know what I mean? But these are things that when I was like 27, 37, I could not do. Youth wasn't enough. It was the fact that I was in bad shape. When I tell you bad shape, I don't mean fat, overweight, or nothing, but like I never worked out to the point where, you know, I had endurance. I may have had a little sculpt or whatever, just trying to make sure that my pants look nice or whatever, or my shirt, but that was it. But like to worry about, how's my cardio? Do I have it? Do I have what it takes to run like 10 minutes straight without panting and falling down and acting like, oh God, please, somebody give me some water quick. You know, I wasn't thinking like that back then. I was just thinking about silly stuff young girls think about, trying to look cute. Yeah, and it makes a difference. So when he was talking about all that type of stuff, I was like, you know, this is why it's not good to listen to males talk about anything concerning women, because they could never be women. They really don't know anything about women at all, besides what they do to have sex with women. But when it comes to how we grow emotionally, physically, the changes we go through, there's so many differences in women. Women who drink, women who have never drunk, women who smoke, women who never have smoked, women who work out, women who have never worked out, women who have been healthy, never been healthy, have been healthy, now they're unhealthy, or have never been and now they're super healthy. There's so many different shades to being a woman and womanhood, period. No male could ever tell you anything about us. Nothing. He could stereotype you, right? And he could hit you with every cliche in the book, but he can never speak to who you are, because he does not take the time to ever know you or ever realize that there is a limit to his knowledge when it comes to a woman. And that is the biggest issue with all of them. So anyway, black women, keep this in mind. Summertime is the time when these dudes feel like they have more entitlement to your bodies because we wear less clothes outside. Watch your daughters. Make sure none of these trifling oh God, none of these disgusting, I hate them. I'm going through a moment right now. Okay, lecherous bastards, pedophiles, hepaphiles, and all the rest have anything to do with your children. Teach your young girls to stay away from these bums from a young age, so they are not young women with babies, families, domestic violence, and the possibility of black femicide teetering on the very next moment in their life when it does not have to be. Seriously, y'all. And we got to do better with our daughters and just young black girls in society on the whole. Like that video that's going around of that dude in Chicago verbally harassing those young women on the train, and you had grown men on there and grown women that sat there and let this man harass and bully and traumatize those little girls. Please start getting involved in those situations, more than one person, to let those people know we will not let you abuse our children. The black community has got to start standing up for something, because it is getting out of control. And keep in mind that I predict probably by September, right, they're going to stop locking up these dudes and throwing away the key worse than they did in the 1990s crime bill, because there is so much crime and civil unrest going on with criminal activity is crazy. Like, there were 3 states already that had these take back the block days where it was just total chaos, like societal chaos, this short to being anarchy. Like, if you think the government in this country is going to allow that to happen, you are crazy. They will actually send in the damn National Guard if they have to put that down. But anyway, I'm done talking, because now I'm running off into a tangent into 1,000 other stories. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all tonight about my little run-in with he's probably a Jamaican dude, because he acts like it, because they're weird like that. They really like want to be womanizers but really hate women, and they have inferiority complexes to white people, Hispanics, and everybody else, because I told you I was married to one of those coolies, right? Mother was Indian, father was Jamaican, and whenever we go to Jamaica, it would be 1,000 of them dudes married to all types of other women where he was from, and they had nothing nice to say about black women. I mean, they could cheat with them, go upside their heads, have children with them, never take care of the kids, never take care of the women. He reminds me of those people, because he doesn't have a good opinion of black women. He's just pandering, placating, and trying to use them. And, you know, if those women like it, I love it. But please stop trying to tell black women that they should be in relationships, because they should not. Because we are the ones that's dying every day, every 4 to 5 hours of the day. Not his beloved Hispanic women or white women or anybody else. It's us who's being slaughtered by people that look exactly like him. That's the shit he should be talking about. Him and everybody else. Like, I just gotta put this part in, and then I'm gonna put those 2 slides in and go. Notice how with that little boy that got shot by that old dude, you see how even celebrities came out and spoke out about this young boy and that issue? Like, he was so good. How dare you shoot him? He's allowed to make a mistake. Okay. Where was your outrage for all the black femicide? Where's your outrage for something that happened very similar to a young lady a few years ago, a black woman? Nobody cared about that. Where's your outrage for the things that happen to little black girls and black women? The way you worrying about these little black boys and these black criminals that get shot by cops. Let me know. Halle Bailey, whatever the fuck her name is, Halle Berry, whatever the fuck. She ain't even a black woman though. She got a white mama. She has some shit to say. That ridiculously over male identified, male worshiping, goddamn one from Baby Boy, that one, Taraji, she had something to say. That Kelly character, once again. And I was surprised at Megan Good. Like, I really wanted to pull her to the side and go, that's not a good look. Don't do that shit. Well, if you want to talk about injustices and inequalities towards black people, make sure you champion black women and little girls, because those are the true victims of the black community, okay? Keep that shit in mind. Stop running around championing black males, because if you haven't noticed, they are the main reason why that boy got shot. Because that old man living in that house is scared to death. He sees a black kid on his porch, whether the boy's there by accident or on purpose. This old man watches the news. And what does he see on the news every night? Not that white people make this shit up. Black people, black males committing crimes. So when he's scared because it's a black boy on his porch, you can't say he was right to shoot him, but he damn sure has a right to be afraid of the fact that he's got one of those fucking monsters on his damn porch, because they are. Go on Black Girl Unlost's page. Look at all the women and other people who tried to help those black women. They have taken the lives of. She has probably over 1,000 videos by now about black women and little girls and children in general that had their lives taken by these very guys that look like that little boy that got shot. And he ain't even dead. He's going to make a full recovery. And he had a GoFundMe that made a lot of money, right? Check this out. Not one black woman that has ever been shot, fighting to recover right now, or shot and recovered, or shot and had their life taken, has ever had any amount of the same amount of substantial GoFundMes as a black male or a black boy. And that's a motherfucking disgrace if you are a black woman contributing to them and you don't do it for your own fucking kind. Good night, black women. For those of y'all that get it, you get it. Leave those black males the fuck alone. Let them go their way with their passport bros, Hispanics, whites, and whoever the fuck else. Black women, get your shit together. Get your political power and your positioning in order and move forward in this world. Take care of yourself and your daughters and leave them the fuck alone. They mean you no well, no good, and no benefit. And you're going to see that in the months to come. As time gets harder and tougher out here because of all these world wars and the fact that now China, Russia, and Africa is pulling together to come against America, you never know what the hell tomorrow may bring. Leave those pieces of shit alone. Get your money up, your education, get your life together, pull your black women that you could count on close to you, keep your children close to you, and live your life for the best for yourself, and to hell with them. Stop being the person they could fall back on in their personal welfare. Fuck them. Treat them as fucked up as they have been treating us. Good night, black women. Okay, so here's a video of his chat. Now, I'm going to scroll up where you can see I'm in the red, right? So, you see me saying what I said, and then you see the people reacting to my comments, right? And then he edited his video where you no longer hear him calling me a ugly bitch, because his response to me telling the black women right here, let me see, when I said, black women, please don't listen to this. He said, he read it, and then he said something like, oh, that's because she's an ugly bitch. I was saying to myself, what? And so you see my response at the bottom, like, I'm not a bitch. And then I said to him, I'm not a bitch. And everything you talking about is bullshit. And if those, I was trying to say, broads want to listen to you, then they're going to end up on the black femicide list. Don't call me a bitch. And that's how I meant it. You know, because I'm like, who the fuck? I mean, who does that? Who calls women who's supposed to be a relationship coach? Or is he a guru? I don't know what they're calling themselves these days, right? Who calls women like bitches and hoes as much as he does? Like, this dude is such a joke. Like, if you don't know, he was going out of his way to be involved with the issue Paris Milan and Cerebral had. And I really, for the life of me, don't understand why Cerebral has a fascination with this dude. Because this dude is, in New York City, a clown, a bozo, a lame, a person that black women would not give the time of fucking day. I want to put the camera on him, but I can't, because if I do that, he will literally strike my channel and he'll be able to take it down. So I don't want to be able to give him any of that. But he's ugly as hell. Very ugly. And I guess he can only get women that have sympathy for him because he's disgusting looking. Body, face, attitude, everything. And you could tell from how all those nasty, derogatory terms roll off his tongue about black women, that is the type of person he is, that sits around calling women bitches, hoes, and all the rest of that stuff on a regular basis. Because he says it with such ease. No effort at all. All right, guys. See you later.